Hi, Professor Adam Floridia here. Today we're going to go over apostrophes. I would say this is probably the second most important grammar lesson ever. The first being the ability to write complete sentences, not run-ons or fragments. Um, However, apostrophes are definitely the at least second most common mistake too. A lot of people I see have apostrophe problems in their writing, and hopefully I'm going to explain this in a way that makes it pretty easy. I mean, that's the goal at least. So we're going to go through the rules and tips that I have, and then I'll go through some samples. All right, so everything I want you to know about apostrophes. Apostrophes are used for two primary reasons. The first is to show the omission of letters, as in contractions. You know, when you take two words and smush them into one, he will goes to heal, it is goes to it's. Important because, I mean, you'd have the word hell if you didn't have the apostrophe there. They would goes to they'd. If you ever are using contractions and you're not sure where the apostrophe goes, just remember the reason you're using it is to omit letters. So you're just too lazy to write the W and I in will for heal. So the apostrophe takes the place of the W and I. In the it is goes to it's, you're replacing the I with an apostrophe. So pretty straightforward there. Most people tend to get that correct as well. And guess what? That's one rule you really shouldn't need to worry about too much for my English classes, because you shouldn't be using contractions in formal writing. Nothing wrong with them, they're just not formal, so I prefer you to write out the words fully to make the writing sound less colloquial. So that leaves us with rule number two, which means possession. Apostrophes are used for possession. So this is where you're going to decide where an apostrophe goes. If you can remember these two questions, they should work for you every single time, no matter what. So you're not sure whether or not to use an apostrophe. First, ask question one. Is the word possessive? Does it show some type of ownership? Does something belong to it? And sometimes this can be not really concrete, kind of nebulous, like in 3 weeks' time, I will be on vacation. Um, Time actually belongs to weeks there, so it's not always as straightforward as John's pen. The pen belongs to John. Sometimes it does take some thinking, but find out if there is some type of ownership or possession. And if the answer is no, no possession, then no apostrophe. Apostrophes are used for possession, no apostrophe. If the answer is yes, there is possession, then ask question two. Question two is, does the word already end in S? Do not worry about whether the word is singular. Do not worry about whether the word is plural. Just worry about whether or not it ends in S. Most plural words end in S. One desk, two desks, one pen, two pens, one paper, two papers, one computer, two computers. I'm naming things in front of me, obviously. One child, two childs. Oh, see, not all of them end in S. So there are some irregulars, which is why you worry about whether it ends in S, not whether it's singular or plural. If the answer is no, the word does not already end in S, then you're going to add an apostrophe S to it. If the answer is yes, the word already does end in S, then you just add an apostrophe after the S. So it would look like S apostrophe. So remember, it does not matter whether a word is plural or singular. If you stick to asking those questions, you'll be fine. So I've got this chart set up. We're going to actually fill in this part, the apostrophe parts, correctly. So we have singular words here. There's only one of something. Plural here, two or more of something. This is the no possession row and the possession row. So if there's no possession, I have one dog, one bus, one child, one flower, one parent, one book, one mouse, one sheep. Where does the apostrophe go in these? Good answer. Nowhere. There's no possession. I have one dog. There's not owner. The dog doesn't own anything. I have one child. Nothing belongs to the child. Okay. Now two of them. I have two dogs. Where does the apostrophe go? Ooh, we got an S in the word. A lot of times students, when they have an S at the end of the word, they're used to putting apostrophe S, so they'll throw an apostrophe in there. But that's where you ask, is it possessive? If no, no apostrophe. I have two dogs. Is there possession? Does something belong to the dogs? No, no apostrophe. There are many flowers out in my yard. Where does the apostrophe go? Nowhere. Nothing belongs to flowers. No possession, no apostrophe. All right, so we're going to go down to possession. This is obviously where we'll need our apostrophes. Um, we're singular words first, so exact same as this column, dog. The dog has a toy. It is the dog's toy. Is there possession? Yes, the toy belongs to the dog. Does the word dog end in S? Nope, so I do apostrophe S. The parent's child was out of control. Is there possession? Yes, the child belongs to the parent. Does parent end in S? Nope, so it's the parent's child. The bus has flat tires. The bus's tires are flat. Okay, is there possession? Let's see. Tires belong to the bus. Yep, there is possession. And does bus end in S? Yes, it does. So I don't want to do apostrophe S. I just want to do apostrophe. Um, I'm going to do a quick note here. You can stop listening to this and totally zone out for this next couple seconds. You actually do have the option if the word is singular and it ends in S and it is possessive, you do have the option of doing that. So if you see that somewhere, it doesn't mean it's wrong. However, know that if you also have the choice of doing it that way. This makes it less complicated. This way, if you follow my two questions, you never have to worry about whether it's singular or plural. So you can just say the bus's tire is flat. Tire belongs to bus. Is it possessive? Yes. Does the word bus end in S? Yes, it does. So do the apostrophe goes after. The book's pages are ripped. Pages belong to the book. Book doesn't end in S. The child's homework is ripped. Homework belongs to the child. Child does not end in S. The mouse's leg is caught in a trap. Um, Leg belongs to the mouse. Mouse does not end in S. The flower's petals are pretty. Petals belong to the flower. Flower does not end in S. Apostrophe S. The sheep's wool is woolly. Wool belongs to the sheep, and sheep does not end in S, so I do apostrophe S. And that's how easy it is. And look, again, we don't care whether words are singular or plural, but notice because most singular words don't necessarily end in S, all of these are pretty much the same, except for this, except for bus here. But all of those are correct. Now, most of these words are going to end in S because most plural words end in S, but not all of them do. There are two dogs. They both have toys. The dog's toys are all chewed up. The toys belong to the dogs. So is there possession? Yes. Does the word end in S? The toys belong to the dogs? Yes, dogs end in S. Apostrophe. The parents' children are restless. The children belong to the parents. I'm saying parents. The word ends in S. So after the S. There's a couple buses. All of the buses have flat tires. The buses' tires are flat. Is there possession? Yes. The tires belong to the buses. Does buses end in S? Yep. So just apostrophe at the end. There are many books on the shelf. All of the books' bindings are worn. The bindings belong to the books. There is possession. Does books end in S? Yep. The children's toys are old. Okay, is there possession? Yes, the toys belong to the children. Does children end in S? Nope. So it gets apostrophe S, even though it's plural, because plural doesn't matter. It ends in an N, children, not an S. We're going to have the same thing with mice. The mice's cheese is delicious. Is there possession? Yes, the cheese belongs to the mice. Does mice end in S? Nope. So it's apostrophe S. There's a bunch of flowers in the yard. They all have pretty petals. The flowers' petals are pretty. Is there possession? Yes, petals belong to flowers. Does flowers end in S? Yep. And then all of those sheep have some woolly wool. The sheep's wool is woolly. And let's see, is there possession? Yes, the wool belongs to the sheep. And does sheep end in S? Nope, so I do apostrophe S. And this is the only one. I'm trying to think of other words that are exactly the same, singular and plural, like deer. You're not going to be able to tell whether I'm talking about one sheep with some wool or a few sheep with some wool based on this, and have to be based on the context of the sentence. However, based on these examples, I can tell that I'm talking about one dog because the word is dog and then the apostrophe S. Here I must be talking about more than one dog because the apostrophe comes after the S, so I know the word must already end in S. And then over here, just a little other. So we already went over contractions. Contractions are exceptions to the rule. The most common one that students mess up or that people mess up is its, because there is a possessive form of its, like the dog chased its tail. So that gets us to another exception. Possessive pronouns, they are pronouns, words that take the place of nouns, where possession is already built into them. His, hers, ours, its, mine, yours, theirs. We don't add apostrophes to those words because they're possessive pronouns. Possession's built in. We don't say it's his, hers, ours, its, mine's, yours, theirs. So its is one of those words. So if I say the dog chased its tail, you might go, ooh, okay, the tail belongs to the dog, and I know I'm supposed to use apostrophes for possession, so I'm going to throw an apostrophe in its, but that would be incorrect because the word its, the possession is built in. If you do it apostrophe s, it's always it is, and there's no such word as its apostrophe, so you got a 50-50 choice. Have a reminder of that on the next slide. Let's get back to this. And some samples. And then we'll do a whole bunch more samples. Stay on for as long as you want. I own two dogs. One dog has a bowl. The dog's bowl is blue. The bowl belongs to the dog, so it's apostrophe S. There is possession. Dog does not end in S. Both dogs have toys. The dog's toys are red. The toys belong to the dogs, so there is possession for question one. Yes. Does the word end in S? Yes, the toys belong to the dogs. The word ends in S, so the apostrophe goes afterwards. They have one child. She has 10 children. Their child has a toy. The child's toy is red. One toy belongs to one child. It is possessive. It does not end in S, so I go apostrophe S. Her children have toys. The children's toys are blue. The toys belong to the children. There is possession. Children does not end in S, so it's also apostrophe S. His dog has a tail. Its tail is short. It's chasing its tail right now. So this is the possessive pronoun. Its tail, the tail that belongs to the dog, its tail. And this is the contraction it is. Just know whenever you write it apostrophe S, you're writing it is. You're just too lazy to do that little line below the apostrophe to make it look more like an I. But essentially, it's always it is. And there is no its apostrophe. So your choices are its or it apostrophe s. It apostrophe s always means it is or it has. It's always the contraction. All right, let's do a little practice, a little more practice. Actually, one other thing I want to show you is growing up, I always What's the difference between these two sentences? Go ahead and pause and think about it while I go on to explain. These two sentences, just because of where the apostrophe is, mean totally different things. Growing up, I always listened to my dad's rules. Is there possession? Yep, the rules belong to, well, the rules must belong to my dad because the apostrophe is apostrophe S. So the word must not end in S. The word must be dad. So the rules belong to my dad. So growing up, I listened to my dad's rules. I have one dad. He had rules. I listened to them. This is different. This means I have multiple dads. Maybe I've got a stepfather. Maybe I have multiple, my dads are married to each other, but a drastic difference in meaning because the rules belong to my dads. The fact that the apostrophe is after the S means I know that this word must end in S already. So the word must be dad's. I listen to my dad's rules. So it is important to figure out where apostrophes go because they can change the meaning of your sentence. All right. Ignore the red squigglies that give us hints. Who's the party's candidate for vice president this year? Well, I know this is a contraction. Whose should be who is. So I'm going to throw an apostrophe there for who is. And this red squiggly gives me an indication that there might be an error here. Who's the party's candidate for vice president? Let's see. The candidate belongs to the party. Is there possession? Yes. Does party end in S? No. So I'm going to do apostrophe S. That whole does the word end in S thing, it works, but sometimes you have to think a little bit if you're doing corrections like these on sentences that are already written for you because you say, yeah, look, it ends in S. I see an S right there. But remember, these are wrong. You have to ask, does the word that you're looking for end in S? The candidate belongs to the party. Does party end in S? No, so it's apostrophe S. The fox had its right foreleg caught securely in the trap's jaws. Fox had its right. Okay, its. Do I want it apostrophe s? The fox had it is right foreleg. Nope, that doesn't make sense. So let's keep it its. Caught securely in the trap's jaws. Okay, the jaws belong to the trap, so there is possession. Does the word end in s? The jaws belong to the trap. It is the the trap's jaws. So trap does not end in s. So I'm going to do that. Guess what? If this fox is having a terrible day, this could be correct. If there are multiple traps, so the word is traps, the word traps would end in S, then the apostrophe would go after it. That's one real crappy day for the fox. He's got multiple traps on his leg. Okay, I'm going to stick to, I think there's one. I'm going to give this fox a slightly better day. And Jaws, where does the apostrophe go in Jaws? Let's see, is there possession? No, there's no possession. Nothing belongs to Jaws. Nothing belongs to the Jaws. No possession, no apostrophe. Our neighbor's car is an old Chrysler, and it's just about to fall apart. Our neighbor's car. The car belongs to the. Again, here you have to ask what does the sentence mean? If you're just correcting Um, Ones like this, the teacher can't mark you wrong if you do that or that, because it's not clear based on the sentence. If you're writing your own sentences, you want to make sure you express it the way it should be expressed, the way you want it to. So I'm going to pretend I have one neighbor. I got one neighbor. He lives by himself, and his car is an old Chrysler. So our neighbor's car, the car belongs to my neighbor. Neighbor does not end in S, so I do apostrophe S. And it's just about to fall apart. This is where it is just about to fall apart works. So I do that. In 3 weeks' time, we'll have to begin school again. And this is like that sort of more difficult possession question example that I gave you before. In 3 weeks' time, that is the time of 3 weeks. So the time actually belongs to the weeks. There is possession, and 3 weeks' time. Is there possession? Yes. Does the word end in S? Does weeks end in S? Yes. 3 weeks. Weeks ends in S, so apostrophe after the S. And this is will have to begin. We will have to begin again. So I'm missing my apostrophe for the missing W and I in the contraction. Didn't you hear that they're leaving tomorrow? This is all contractions. Did not you hear? Yeah, sounds weird when we say it like that, but that's what the contraction is. Did not you hear that they are leaving tomorrow? It takes the place of the A. A few more. Whenever I think of the stories I read as a child, I remember Cinderella's glass slipper and Snow White's wicked stepmother. Okay, whenever I think of these stories, stories, it's got an S in it, so where does the apostrophe go here? The stories I read. Is there possession? No. No possession, no apostrophe. As ends in S. Where does the apostrophe go? Nowhere. As is, there's no possession. So don't get antsy and every time you see an S start throwing apostrophes all over the place. Remember to ask, is there possession? I remember Cinderella's glass slipper. Is there possession? Yeah, the glass slipper belongs to who? It belongs to Cinderella. Does Cinderella end in S? No. So I'm going to put an apostrophe there. And Snow White's wicked stepmother. The possession is their possession. Yep. The wicked stepmother belongs to Snow White. Does Snow White end in S? Nope. White does not end in S, so I do apostrophe S. We claimed the picnic table was ours, but the Smith's children looked so disappointed that we found another spot. We claimed the picnic table is ours. Ours is possessive, but it's a possessive pronoun. Possession is built into it. That's one of our exceptions, so no apostrophe. The Smith's children looked so disappointed. I'm going to say the Smiths are a family. So there's one Smith, there's two Smiths. There is possession. The children, and I say the children belong to the Smiths, the mom and the dad perhaps. The children belong to the Smiths. Smiths end in S. So I would do that. Yeah, there's a whole bunch. We're not going to go through all these, but I'll leave these up so you can pause and practice. Do the next few on your own, and then watch and see if you get them right based on what I do. It's important that the kitten learns to find its way home. It is important that the kitten learns. Learns, just a verb. It won't have an apostrophe in it. There's no possession in learns, no possession, no apostrophe. Learns to find its way home. Do I want to do this here? Learns to find it is way home? No, I don't. So we leave it like that. She did not hear her children's cries. It's just got dark. Oh, joy. Let's make it a little happier. And look, doing that let me know that there's an error here. We would have figured that out anyway. She didn't hear her children's cries. Is there possession? Yes, the cries belong to the children. Does children end in S? No, so I do apostrophe S. My address has 3 sevens and Tim's phone number has 4 twos. Okay, this is something I'm not going to really get into. Most people would throw an apostrophe there and there. Technically, you're not supposed to because there's no possession. Just like if you wrote that word out as 3 sevens, it would be SEVENS. There would be no apostrophe. Twos would be TWOS. There would be no apostrophe. So actually, the only thing that needs apostrophe here is Tim's phone number. The phone number belongs to Tim. Tim does not end in S, so apostrophe. Unless the guy's name is Tim's. If you got a guy named Tim's, then it would be Tim's phone number. The phone number belongs to a guy named Tim's. Tim's ends in S, so it would be after that. I'm going to assume his name is Tim. Didn't he say when he would arrive at Arnie's house? Again, we got did not as our contraction. He say when he would arrive at Arnie's house. There is possession. The house belongs to Arnie. Arnie does not end in S, so I'm going to go apostrophe S. It's such a beautiful day that I've decided to take a sunbath. We got just more contractions. It is such a beautiful day that I have. So the H and A are missing. The I is missing. Decided to take a sunbath. No possession, no apostrophe anywhere else. She said the watch Jack found was hers, but she couldn't identify the manufacturer's name on it. Okay, she said the watch Jack found was hers. Anything in hers? Nope. Possessive pronouns, possessions built into it. She couldn't. I'm missing an apostrophe for could not. Identify the manufacturer's name on it. There is possession here. The name belongs to the manufacturer. It is the name of a manufacturer. Does manufacturer end in S? Nope. So I'm going to do apostrophe S, the name that belongs to the manufacturer. Little girls' clothing is on the first floor, and the men's department is on the second. Okay, little girls' clothing. Clothing belongs to girls, um, so it is possessive. Little girls. Does girls end in S? Yep. So I'm going to do S apostrophe. It's on the first floor. The men's department is on the second. Men's department. The department belongs to men. Men does not end in S, so I'm going to do apostrophe S. The dog's bark was far worse than its bite. The dog's bark. The bark belongs to the dog, so there is possession. Dog does not end in S, so I'm going to go like that. Was far worse than its bite. It's not it, it is not it is, so I am not going to do that. And I'm going to leave it like that. And these just keep going, but I'm going to stop. I'm going to do one more. I'll leave the rest of these up. Practice more. Practice makes better. The moon's rays shone feebly on the path, and I heard the insects' chirpings and whistlings. Okay, the moon's rays. Where's the possessive? The rays of the moon. So the rays belong to the moon. Is their possession? Yes. The rays belong to the what? To the moon. Does moon end in S? No. Does not end in S, so it goes apostrophe S. Rays. Okay, where does it go in rays? The moon's rays shone. Does shone belong to it? No. There's no possession. It's one ray, two rays. There's a whole bunch of rays coming from the moon. There, it is plural. It is not possessive. So no possession, no apostrophe. And I heard the insects' chirpings and whistlings. Okay, is there possession? Yes. The chirpings and whistlings belong to the. Depends on what you want your sentence to mean here. If I think the chirpings and whistlings belong to an insect, then insect does not end in S, so it would be apostrophe S. There's one annoying bug out there, he's chirping and whistling. If I think there's a whole bunch of annoying bugs out there and I hear all of these insects, then I'm going to say the chirpings and whistlings, they belong to the insects. Insects ends in S, so it would be S apostrophe. Again, either one is fine depending on what the sentence means. And if you're doing exercises like this and it's not clear, you can't get it wrong. You would just explain that, nope, this I'm talking about multiple insects, or if it's before the S, I'm talking about one insect. And then where does the apostrophe go? In chirpings and whistlings? Nowhere. No possession, no apostrophe. All right, I am done doing these, but pause, look at all these other ones. Practice makes better. Keep going if you want. If you're in my class and you want to know if any of these are right or you want more practice, shoot me an email and I can help you through some more practice. All right, hopefully that's helpful.